Now, this is not going to be my usual long-winded 1 hour video. So many people have requested this from me as on my vlog and when I'm streaming. Sometimes it comes up about chairs. Occasionally I'll stand up and someone will say, "Hey, what chair is that?" And I know you really get into things that you buy and do thousands of hours of research and testing. Have you ever done chairs? Could you do chairs? I have nothing prepared for this. In advance, I don't work for this clearly Chinese company called Lamy. I have no financial interest. I make nothing on this. I'm not giving you any links. This is the just factory website. This used to be on Amazon, and I'm not quite sure why they took it off of Amazon. Maybe they didn't want to give deals on it. I'm not sure. This company is still all over Amazon, but not this chair. Somebody wrote sus already in the chat. This is reviewed by everyone that reviews chairs. Everybody likes it. Unless you're 400 pounds and taller than me, which I don't think there's many of that are going to see this in boosted laser, this is going to be a great chair. Again, I have nothing prepared. I'm just going to drop some knowledge on you and some personal thoughts. Number one, don't waste your money on a dedicated gaming chair. I could talk about this for an hour and a half, but I'm not going to. This is a scam. It's a ripoff, and you get charged extra money because they say gaming. Unless you have no sound system whatsoever, speakers, headphones, which who doesn't? There are some gaming chairs that have built in some cases, subwoofers for bass. And in the headrest or along the shoulder area here of the chair, the backrest, there are speakers. I've never heard one, and I have tested several that sound good. Don't waste your money. The contours, just take my word for it. Don't buy something that's whatever the company that says gaming chair. I have probably sat and tested with an engineering mind and an ergonomic mind. And, oh, is this going to be a problem later? Is this a little annoying? For those that know me on my gear review channel, you know how in-depth I get when testing stuff. Hell, for vacuums, I spent 4 months and about $100,000 and made charts and graphs testing every vacuum you ever heard of, and probably another 50 you haven't, from Germany and Japan and a couple other countries. Yes, $100,000. Till I found the ultimate vacuum. This is not for that video. Don't buy a Dyson. Don't get stuff at Costco or most chain stores. Just do not get a Shark. Back to chairs. Being a larger person, I have a little more issue with chairs than your average person. For example, if you're a small woman, say 4'11" to 5'6", maybe even 5'9", and you're below 150 pounds. Now I'm thinking, most of the girls I know in here personally, 115, 125, but below 150, nearly any chair is going to be pretty comfy and pretty sturdy. Most of these types of chairs, computer chair, office chair, that are in this type of format, they're usually rated, the really cheap ones, for 225 pounds, and most of them are 250. Mostly what that rating has to do with this little piece here that you can't see too well between the wheel frame area and the chair, this little skinny stick here. This is a piston. Think of a shock absorber on a car. And this is what, in most cases, lets the chair go up and down. Now, I had one very heavy-duty chair that was $2,000, guaranteed for 20 years, which is unheard of, that had superior materials, and this was built to survive through a nuclear war. It had a screw system where you actually had to twist clockwise or counterclockwise to, after pressing a lever, essentially, and a button, to get the correct height. But when you got it, it didn't move. There was like a locking system. Anyway, every other chair has a piston here. This piston has different grades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which essentially has to do with how strong they are, which comes down to how much weight they can hold. So your cheaper chairs have like a type 1 piston, little shock absorber thing here. Yes, this is pneumatic, and it makes it go up and down with a button or a lever. Sometimes a screw mechanism, but usually it's a lever. You've all had chairs that did this. Like if you're not sitting, if this was all the way down and you're not sitting in it, and you pull the lever, it goes psh, right? So what happens is cheap chairs have the cheapest piston here, a type 1, usually rated between 225 and 250 pounds. If you're below that, especially a lot below that, that portion of the chair is going to last quite a while. How strong these legs are and the wheels and other portions of the chair are based on you being below 225 or 250 pounds, and you not being a gorilla doing gorilla things on your chair. If you were a man or a woman, I suppose, over this, you will damage the chair. It's a matter of time, and it's usually not too long. Now, I suppose there is a little wiggle room on how much weight these chairs. Yeah, I wanted it to be very short, but I gotta do a few technical things. Because I'm gonna actually put this on my review channel. Yeah, even there too, and I'll put it on Boosted Laser. Boosted Laser is gaming, and it's a bunch of potheads and dumb kids and retards with ADD and OCD, but there's a few normal people. So I'll just copy it there for them. Okay. I suppose if this is rated for a chair, not this chair, if a chair is rated for 250 pounds, if you're 262, it'll probably last a while if you don't run and launch yourself and jump on this thing from a distance and do gorilla things, as I call it. It'll probably last, there's a little wiggle room. It won't last as long as if you were 200 for sure. But it's not going to just explode and just shatter and break. So mind the rating. When you buy a chair, if you're not a little person, make sure that your chair can handle your weight. And like I said, pretty much any chair over $70 this type of formatted chair. It could be leather or what you think is leather that isn't. But if it's this type of chair, yeah, I'm going to speed this up. If you're small, you should probably be fine. Now, I am going to say that chairs get better the more money you spend, but there's price points where chairs get higher quality. You don't just pay for the name, except one brand, but that brand's chairs are probably the best in the world. None of you have probably ever seen one, yeah, like a Miller, but they're amazing. Are they worth brand new? You can buy them used, refurbed. Are they worth $1,800 to $2,500 for a chair sort of like this? Not for most people. All right, so in general, any chair below $100, even at Costco, Amazon, Walmart, wherever you shop, is cheap Chinese junk, generally speaking. Unless it's for a kid who's really, a 6 to, 18-year-old sub 200-pound or girl that's tiny, 100, 120, 130 pounds. They're probably okay. They're not great chairs. The materials are garbage. The padding for your butt isn't good. But pretty much 100 and below is cheap Chinese junk. The first upgrade to those chairs are about $130 to $150. Now I could sit here and do the chart with the S and the A, B, D and spend 45 hours, but generally speaking, around $139 on Amazon from what I've seen. You're going to get the next level up. The only problem with buying off Amazon, which you can certainly do, is that you can't feel it in person. And it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, even though they have a nice return policy. I'm not going to answer anymore, but I'll answer this one because I saw it. Costco is better because a lot of times they will have some chairs on display, but the return policy on Costco is much better and easier than anywhere else. But there is a chance that a chair you like, although sometimes they have for sale 15 and they might have on display 3, right? Okay, so let's get back. Yes, I'll get to that. So, if you're very small, sub 150 pounds, maybe sub 180, and between midget and 6'2", any of these $139 chairs are okay. Some are better than others. I would check reviews and check YouTube to see. For me, they don't cut it. These are low mid quality. They're not going to last 10, 20, 30 years. The coatings are going to peel off. Plastic is going to break. Wheels might break. These arms, sometimes this is one piece. Sometimes you have to stick all these legs on. They break. Sometimes. The armrests fall apart, material breaks. If this is PU, fake leather, that looks like leather, but it isn't. I'm sure you've seen that shit peel off, and the chair starts looking like Swiss cheese. This is what you get at that level. Now, if you take care of it and you don't, if you use it 1 hour a day, it'll probably last a while. I'm going to fast forward. I'm not going to tell you every chair, every one I've reviewed, which is very extensive. Why am I on this page? In my opinion, and again, I don't work for Colamy. This is not a link that I'm giving you. I have no financial interest in any way, shape, or form with this product, this website. I don't have a relative that owns or work here. It's little Chinese people. This, in my opinion, and sometimes this is on sale or there's a coupon code. Right now, I know you can get this, like if you just give them your email or something, you get a discount. You could get this for about $260. I don't know if it's free shipping or not. Probably on Amazon, that would have been nice because, through Prime, you definitely get free fast shipping, which is pretty nice. And they probably had some Black Friday or whatever they call their sale. What is it called? Oh, Prime? Yeah, Prime sales and such, where this went even slightly lower. Let's fast forward a lot. In my opinion, and I have tested, oh God, probably 30. I'm just trying to get a quick count. Over the last 5 years, I probably tested 30 chairs from $199 to $350. Yeah, 30, maybe even a little more than 30. In my opinion, for most normal people that are not gigantic, let's say 300 pounds and below, let's say, it really depends how you're configured, less than 6'4", and less than 300 pounds, or right up at 300. This is the best bang for the buck chair that you can get. And some people worry about looks. I don't give a fuck how my chair looks. I don't even know how you rate chair looks. It has no tits or ass. It's not wearing high heels. So you could take my word for it or not. As of now, and I just tested 5 more highly rated, and I put them up against this, all within that $199 to $350 before coupons on Amazon. This is still my favorite. In fact, I don't think there's anything even close. Let's say that I rated from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. This chair was a 10, right? So this is my standard. I think the next best of 30 to 50 chairs you can get in this price range, if this is a 10, the next second best is a 7, 8. And then they kind of go downhill from there for one reason or another. Knowing something about foams, padding, I could give you a long story, but take my word, you will never meet anyone that knows more about latex and memory foam and purple and similar stuff. And yes, even upholstery, furniture, rebuilder, maker foams. You'll never meet anyone that knows more than me. I was in this business for a little while. Not all foam is the same. Short version, there's cheap, there's medium, and there's really good. The price difference is night and day, even what it costs to manufacture. Chairs below, let's say chairs 150 at least, or probably sub 200, have usually the lowest grade foam that you sit on your ass, the butt pad. This goes sometimes flat instantly if you're slightly on the heavier side. Now, I'm much bigger than all of you, but even normal people that I know that work for me or with me, I'll say, hey, could you sit on this? And it just goes flat, and you're sitting on hard whatever, wood, plastic, and other materials. And that's immediately, over time, it degrades, it gets softer and less padded, less comfortable. This is a lot of chairs. Unless you are extremely light, like a real small women, children, or men that are what's called sidewalk sissies, the padding is not going to be good. Yes, I saw you said number 49. Uh, this has arguably the highest level foam. Now, I haven't cut this open with a utility knife to exactly inspect it, but I know from feel, I know density, and I know ILD, and I know all kinds of stuff about foams that none of you know about. This is a very high level foam, period. To get this level of foam, you gotta be in the mid 700 to $2,000 range. It is shocking to me that under 300, like I said, right now about 260 with their coupon that you can get right from Kolami. It is shocking that they have this grade of foam on here. This is serious support. Now, if you, this is what I will call slightly firm to me. If you are very small, you will find this firm. It will get slightly softer over time, and I don't mean 35 years. If you sit in this a lot, it will get slightly softer, or what some people call more comfortable. I actually don't like super soft. I don't like sinking into a bed or a chair cushion. I like to, this makes sense, sit on top of it. A little bit of give, but I prefer firm. But I also know that cheaper foams, where you do sink into it very easily, they don't last long and they're very low quality. This cushion is amazing. These do all kinds of things with up and down and twisting and forward and back, all of that stuff. Personally, I don't give a rat's ass. I don't know if there's other better pictures of what I'm going to tell you. Okay. I don't give a crap about, I guess I'll call it reclining or leaning back. I know there's people that slouch all the time, or maybe they watch TV or a movie on their computer and they like to lean back, recline, even put their head on this rest. I don't. I don't think in the last 3 years, let's say, I have reclined once. I have mine locked, my chair, up and down like this, and I've never reclined back. Period. I don't like it. Some people like to even put their feet up on an ottoman or whatever. I'm not into it. So I can't review that part because it's not my jam. I don't give a damn about the headrest. I don't use it. I'm sitting right now, my head never hits it. Granted, I'm a workout guy, giant bodybuilder dude, and maybe my body is different than yours. But I don't care. That said, other reviews I've seen, people I know that work with me or for me that do own this chair that are human sized and not Bigfoot sized, they like it a lot. They like this lumbar thing. I'm not going in any special order. Thoughts are just coming into my head. I am looking over the chair that I spent a lot of money for that I can't return, unfortunately. That is very nice PU fake leather, but this particular chair has claimed, I don't know, it's 12 or 15 times thicker fake leather, bonded, whatever they call it. A lot of times I talked about that leathery stuff, not real leather, although it can happen with that, kind of peeling and coming apart, looking like Swiss cheese. It gets all over your clothes. It looks gross. And sometimes if you're wearing shorts or a t-shirt, you can feel it scratching up against you. It's not nice. Number two, I found, and I am not a sweaty person at all, when I sit on those leather and PU, fake leather, bonded, whatever they want to call it, chairs, they look good. They're shiny and it looks pro. If you sit for a long time, you're going to get sweaty marks on it. The good news is it wipes right off. Unlike cloth, where if it was sweaty, it would get in there. That's the good side of the PU and leathers. They wipe off. But I don't get sweaty in material and mesh type, right, at all. I am not a fan of leather for gaming and for watching TV and spending hours and hours. I'm not a fan of PU personally. And then someone says, well, you could put a big shower or beach towel, lay it, or some kind of sheet or, car cover for chairs. Do they make that? But then why bother getting the PU if you got to put all this shit on it? End of the story, that all of those leathery and fake leathery and plastic leathery things, they get hot and they get juicy and smelly unless you're constantly cleaning them, so I'm not a fan. Okay, this has a mesh. It's hard to see here. This is see-through, kind of like a woman's stockings. This is much stronger. Some of these chairs that have this mesh, which is very breathable, you don't get hot. This is more comfortable than you think. They stretch, and then weird things happen when it stretch. You don't fit in it quite right, and you are slightly in awkward positions. Now, they don't stretch 8 inches, but you can tell the difference. The chairs with leather and fake leather and whatever plasticky materials, vinyls, chemicals, this is a little more substantial on those. The trade-off is that heat that can happen. Yes, this little bar here is like a lumbar support, and it works great if you're between the heights that I said. I don't think I know anyone that has sat in one or owns one that's below, the girls here are probably 5'4", and the tallest is, besides me, is one guy that's 6'4", but men between 5'6" and 6 foot, this is really nice. Yes, we talked about the weight. Yeah, they're, 3 or 4D arms, whatever that's called. I have to stress again this cushion. I will say there's one, I don't want to say it's good or bad thing, but something interesting about this cushion. This is not completely flat. This is slightly raised on the edges, and if you talk to them or watch enough vids or hear their bullshit, they say it's better. It's the short version. I could take it or leave it. It's just, some people love it. They feel like it's almost a little buckety and it holds them in. I suppose if you had a really, and this is a fairly big chair, this is not for little Chinesey people. If you had a huge wide ass, really fat, super wide, I suppose it might, possibly feel interesting because of this very slight contour I'm not sure. Yes, this does have a guarantee, and it. So a bunch of people in chat are saying they've gotten chairs from Amazon and Walmart and other places, and customer service is all but non-existent. I'm seeing. I've left 550, people say 500. Is it really 500? 500 emails and calls, and no one has ever gotten back to me. That's what you get with cheap chairs. And should something stupid happen, your dog or cat comes and poops on the cushion, you spill your ramen soup that a lot of you eat, and this thing is soaked. Are you going to sit on it? How are you going to clean this? Okay, I'll just order a new cushion. What's it going to be? $20 for a cheap chair? $30? Whatever, I'll get a brand new cushion. Or even if it wears out, well, good luck getting in contact with the companies. I'm going to just fast forward for a second. When you buy better chairs, higher quality, 500 plus, but certainly 700 to 2,000, there is actual customer service. The chair I have that's about, give or take, $1,800 has real, no bullshit, no questions really asked customer service, whether you fuck it up or it was actual. And this chair, I think the one I have is 12-year guarantee. At least for the first few years, and maybe the whole time, somehow you break a armrest, your dog poops on the cushion. It's not 100 emails. You don't have to write a bullshit letter for 7 pages. You just tell them, and they send you a new one. That easy. A wheel breaks, which they don't on good chairs. They use good wheels. By the way, better chairs roll much better than shitty, low-cost chairs. The difference is staggering. To the level of cheap chairs, if you're sitting in it and you put one leg down and you just kind of push and you want to see how far you would roll backwards on your floor, you might go a few inches to 2 feet with cheaper chairs. On a good chair, they have like roller skate wheels or some rollerblade. Same thing. Your face, you want to go this way, so you're facing backwards. You put your leg down, you push off, and you go 25 feet. They roll way further, way easier, if that's important to you. And yes, you can buy upgraded plug-in wheels for most cheaper chairs. These wheels generally are not built or welded or glued or he said soldered in. They kind of pull in and out with a little effort. You can, for not a ton of money, get better wheels. Okay, so anyway, this does not run hot like any of the leather, fake leather, chemical, plasticky type chairs. This cushion is far better, unless some of you have. Yeah, Steel makes some. Their chairs are okay. I think they're a little overpriced, personally, but if each one was 25% less, all those Steel Rage or whatever chairs, if they were 25% or half of what they cost, they would be pretty nice chairs, but they're just overpriced. Okay. This doesn't run hot. People that like it say the reclining is good, it's all adjustable, your back doesn't get sweaty or greasy. They like the headrest, it goes up and down. You can kind of. I don't even know what. There are people. I've never done this in my entire life. I've had these chairs for however many years. There are people that will hold the armrests with their hands and then they think it's good or they like it for some reason to twist. I don't know why, to quote, crack their back or whatever. I've never done it. I don't know why people do this. But this has some give where you can do a twisting. There are chairs kind of made to do that, where this is very flexible and will move with you. But so someone asked you, you can slightly twist and rotate this. A lot of Chinese companies that are even more low quality, cheap Chinese chairs will claim that they are of a big and tall design, meaning for very tall, heavy, fat people. Now, a few years ago, the number would be the highest you ever saw was 400 pounds, and most of them were 350. Like anything else, flashlights come to mind, it became a war of bigger numbers. Oh, well, this cheap Chinese chair says it handles 360 pounds. Let's make ours 400. And then another company came out and said, ours is 450. Exact same chair, exact same parts, made in the same place by the same people in Shenzhen, China. Just a generic chair that companies put their name on. That's how stuff gets made in China, if you don't know. A lot of this stuff is all the same manufacturer, and people just put their name on it. Sometimes we do that here in the civilized world. No, I didn't have breakfast yet. It's too early for that. Chef's not even awake. Yeah, so they have chairs on Amazon and elsewhere that are 500, 650, 700. I saw a 900-pound rating chair. I assure you, they are not rated for these numbers. I tested some of them. Occasionally, there's one that's not bad that might be a legit 350 or 400 that says 6 or 700 pounds. So don't get caught up in that shit. Alright, so I'd like to end this. This is just of superior quality. There is. If I moved into yet another building office, I bought something and I needed nice chairs for people that were going to work all day in front of computers. This is the chair I would buy, even though I could save money and get cheap ones. This is what I would get, even if I had to get 20 or 30 or 50. This is the chair I would get. It's just the sweet spot. Is my $1,800 chair better than this? In that case, yes, it is better. It's built better. Some might say, okay, $1,800. If this lasts half as long, right? Let's say you get this for $250 on some holiday, right? If this lasts half as long, if you had to get two, you're in for $500. Even at this, right? You're not too far off. Under 600, you could just get two of them. You get a backup chair, right? You could get several of them that equal that $1,800 to $2,000. Yeah, I would say it's not worth it to get a Miller or one of the other ultra, ultra, ultra high. No, it's not just paying for the name like Gucci or whatever. YS. Is that Yves Saint Laurent? Yeah, you're not just paying for the name. It's definitely made better. Materials, stitching, everything is better. Do I think they're overpriced? Yes. But this is how things are. I'm not going to answer. I'm getting lots of people. I'm this height and this weight, like I said. 5'4" to definitely 6'2", maybe 6'4". This is my pick. Between, 200 and probably is That's an interesting question. Somehow, this chair, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, in the $400 to $500 range. Is there anything I like better at 500 or 400? No. I never really thought about that. There are chairs. Yeah, I need a sip of water. There are chairs in the $400 to $500 range that are on a similar level to this. Does that make sense? If let me tell you this, if I had to spend 400 to 500 for this, the under 500, um, for this chair, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have sat in it and looked at the construction and felt it. And a year later, if I did a long term review, look, I sit in this thing, whatever the number is, 12, 18 hours a day, and it's held up, it's still good, blah, blah, blah. If I paid just below 500, I would not be mad. Somehow, this outpunches its weight, bang for the buck. This is the best chair, period. Now, I have seen a couple of reviews by, I'm going to be nice, by some guys or people. Keep in mind that if you go to YouTube or elsewhere, there are people that sell chairs. People that sell chairs want to make the most money possible. Now, let's just say on this 300 or whatever, let's call it 300. On this $300 chair, they make $40, right? But there's another chair that's the same price, but they make $99. Which one on their review are they going to say is the better chair? They don't give a fuck about you. They want to make money. So be very careful when going to YouTube and typing in, best $300 chair, best $200, 100, whatever. These people sell chairs. They might not tell you that. Some do come right out and say it. Trust me, it's more than you think. It's all about the money and what's their motivation. Here's my money. Don't give a fuck. Here's my motivation, because I'm helpful and I keep it real and state facts, and some friends asked me. So I made this video. I'm not selling you chairs. I don't have any links. I don't work for these guys in any way, shape, or form. I don't have stock. I don't, nothing. I'm not on the board. It's not all Chinese people and 6'9", 330 jacked blonde blue fast car. I promise you. Although it would look pretty funny, right? Sitting at this big, long table with. Anyway. All right, one or two questions. This is way longer than I wanted. I'm not going to go chair for chair. Yes, I know that brand, and they look snazzy. Oh, but it says gaming chair. You're not going to game better, and I've already talked. They're overpriced, and it's gimmicks. In fact, you don't want chairs that have 30 pads and all kinds of angles and look like race car bucket seats. I'm not going to get into why, but you don't want that in a chair. There's reasons why good chairs don't have that shit. That's for dumb kids. I was going to say something, but it would anger so many people. That's for dumb kids that just like, look at my chair. It's so-and-so gaming chair, and it's electric blue. Some have lights on them. It's all ridiculous junk that breaks, and it's for suckers. Rather than spending the money on important chair, you're getting dumb stuff that adds to the cost. Always get an office chair or just a computer chair, and don't fall for gaming chairs. That said, some of them are comfortable for some little non American origin people. Right. Yes, exactly. Okay. Oh, God, I wanted a 5 minute and we're probably at an hour or something. A couple of quick questions and then I want to end this. Chair related only. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every brand. I can tell you I've done at least 30, and if I put thought to it, it's probably closer to 50 that I've sat in, tested, bounced around on, twisted. Yeah. There is a million and one cheap Chinese chairs where the companies come and go. You might see them on Amazon today, and then a day, a week, a month, half a year later, that company is gone. This one has been around for a while. There's a couple that has been around. Do you know the M18? Yes, I do. I almost fell for the M18 hype myself. I'm going to tell you why the M18 sells well. It's pretty cheap price. There's often coupons or whatever, super sales, Black Friday, Prime Day, all of these on the M18. I know the company very well. I had one. They're cheap Chinese junk, and generally, the reviews you see about them that are positive are people that sell chairs in some way, shape, or form, and they give it, we kind of talked about this, the reviews they do because you make a lot of money on that chair. This happens in life with other products also. It's not just these chairs. Um, when I told you, why does a seller, right, there's a pair of $300 chairs, why do they pick one over the other? Well, if you make $40 on one chair and 99 on another, you're going to try to sell the chair that's 99, even if it's not better. But if you went to that guy's office, I can guarantee what he's going to be sitting on, right? Yes, that's what I have to say about the M8. I didn't like it, and it was, in fact, it broke in two places. And, shit happens when you get stuff off Amazon and Chinesey stuff. Sometimes parts are missing, there's quality control. Mine was missing stuff. I kind of let that slide, but it broke two different things. One of the, like right here, on one of these wheels, like an inch in, it just broke. And it wasn't even me, I'm large. It was a normal person had one, was sitting on it, and it just snapped. One of the arm things just snapped off. Yeah, they're not. Don't even consider. If the M8, if you're really small, below 200 pounds, below 6 foot, between 5'4" and 6 foot, if you're 180, 150 pounds, if you got one for like $99, I'd say that's not a bad chair for $99. I probably would pick other stuff. Absolutely don't sleep on Costco. I can't say it's. They have good deals at Costco, but I've never seen, or rarely do you see a spectacular deal on chairs. Unless they have an event for chairs, the only thing is it's easy to get if you pick it up in person. And if there's an issue, it's difficult to return. This is why I like to go and sit in chairs in person. Because if you get one from Amazon, it comes in this box. Now, you don't know this, but expensive good chairs, certainly the one that was $1,800, and even sometimes in the 700 plus range, they come fully built, oiled, all the creaks are out of it. There's no shakiness to anything. They come in one piece. You take it out of the box, you sit in it. There's no adjusting unless you want to change a tilt pressure or something, the height. They just are ready to go. Cheaper chairs you have to put together. That said, it's not hard. It's, I don't know, between, if you're not goofy, 5 and 20 minutes to put a chair together, but you don't need welders and a mechanic tool set. Most of them come with the tools you need, right? But my point is, so you get a chair in this box, you got to rip it up, and all the cardboard and the white foamy shit and bags, yeah, and little spacers. And then you got to put this thing together for 5 to 20 minutes if you're not goofy. You try it out, exactly, and for whatever reason, your body just doesn't like the chair. And you can take a wide range of chairs, but just for some reason, it's not vibing with you. Fuck this chair. Well, now to return it, right, even at generous Amazon return places, which we have two from where I'm broadcasting, you don't even need return labels, no calls. You just show up, sometimes not even really putting stuff back in the boxes. You could just bring them an armful of shit and pay a couple of dollars, or sometimes it's completely free, $0. And they're just like, we'll take care of it. We have two good places. But if you don't, now, if you don't like the chair, it's all together and you've tightened all the screws, the Allen, I'll say screws, nuts and bolts, and the wheels are on. Now you got to take it all apart, which is much more difficult than putting it together. Not much, but more time consuming and a little more of a pain in the ass. Now you got to have to somehow, if you didn't throw it out already, right? This is much easier if you get the chair and moments after putting it together, you're not vibing. But imagine if you're a person that gets the chair, let me try it out for a month, right? Let's say the return policy of Amazon, I don't know what it is, 3 months, maybe it's 30 days. I'll try it, up until the last day and then decide. You've probably thrown out some or all of the packaging because it's big. And now somehow you gotta return this. You might be fucked. Unless you carefully save everything. And then you gotta transport it back, and it's a pain in the ass. This is why buying a chair at a store, in this case, and I'm not a fan of stores anymore, is you can sit in these fuckers, at least for several minutes. You can wiggle around. If you go to, I don't know what you have, Staples has a bunch of chairs, or what's another place? Office Max, whatever you have similar local. Yes, don't ever question me about TVs or movie. I know what Top Copy is, and no one else does. So pause right now, open another window, go to YouTube and type in Chappelle Show Top Copy. Okay. Prove that you know what that bit is about. See, I'm going to lose everyone right here. I'm going to quote one line from that Chappelle skit. You ready? Hell yeah, I suck toes. Okay. To save you people a lot of time and money, yeah, you've listened to me bullshit, my sexy voice, my calming voice for about an hour. I should make a YouTube. Now, I have product reviews, and I have my military channel and the car channel, and this, of course, for gaming. Just products I have personally had a strong interest in and tested many, many hours, done hundreds or thousands of hours of research. Nobody knows more about multi-tools, flashlights, knives, vacuums, anything that you see me review. I should just make a list of products and just be like, look, don't do research. This is what you want. Like Fast Car's pick of life things. You need a microwave, you need dishes, you need a whatever. Yeah. You should always ask Fast Car because there's a good chance if you're going to, certainly stereo speakers, high end, up to hundreds of thousands, many hundreds of thousands. Um, yeah, TVs. You should at least ask me, hey, Fast, you got any experience in so and so item? And I might, and I won't bullshit you, and I'm not making any money. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, for those of you that can afford right now about 260, I don't know if it's free shipping or not. Oh, it is free shipping. Okay. This warranty used to be either 5 or 10. And they honor it. I don't, yeah, here it is, get 10% off. I don't know why they dropped it to 3, honestly. But I'm going to tell you from owning this and knowing 12, maybe 15 people personally that own this chair, none of them has had any problem. Warranties are great. Sometimes you pay for them. But if you don't ever use the warranty, right? Does it matter how long it is? Does that make sense? You might say, but what if I get a 1 in a million problem? Yeah. I'm not unhappy with this. And this is a real warranty. Unlike I spoke about other companies where they could say 1 year, 3, 5, and you will never get in touch with these Chinese companies ever. Ever, 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 ever. A lot of them have websites, phone numbers, and link for an email, but when you actually click on it, just nothing happens. Yes, that's my belly gurgling. Yeah, just nothing. But this is a legit company. So if you have 10% less than 289 free shipping, this is the chair. Now, if you are on a budget and you might say, man, I don't have a lot of money, and that is still whatever it would be, 269 or something. Yeah, I'm getting another one as a gift, actually. In fact, I might get more than one as a gift. I might get several more right now. Um, what I would say is those of you that drink, smoke cigarettes, are certainly pothead idiots. Do a little bit less drugs, drink a little bit less booze. If it takes, is it worth sitting in your shitty chair for another week or 2 or month or who knows, 2 months until you can afford this? Yes, worth every penny. Okay, question. What is it worth? This is what people say to me. Is it worth selling my soul to the devil to get this chair? No. Do not sell your soul to any devil. Oh, man. I have someone that watches my videos. We'll call her Fast Cat. She's going to say that I giggled on this video. I was not I was coughing. I don't want to see a giggle, Cat. This doesn't. If you're new to me, it's not going to make sense. Okay. Maybe one more question. That's interesting. A lot of these are the same. A lot of these I covered. I'm going to post this on my various sites, including Boosted Laser. I'll throw a copy. But it'll be quite clear. The titles will be something like Best Gaming Chair Under $300 or along. You'll know from the title. And I don't have a... You'll know right away. All right, if I see something that's interesting, yes, they go up and down and all of that fun stuff. Yes, you can adjust how This person is asking, can you adjust how hard it is to push this back? Some people like it firm, and some people like where you just barely touch it and it instantly leans back. How hard is the seat? I kind of covered this. It's based on your weight. If you are a small sidewalk sissy man, let's be honest, Asian, um, or some weird countries in South America, they got some real, like, sissy small men, or a small woman, it will be quite firm. Not uncomfortably firm, like you're sitting on bricks, but firm. If you're expecting, this is a fairly thick cushion. If you're expecting to sit in it and go, as it sinks down like memory foam, and it's like you just sat on a giant amoeba and it's absorbing you, it's not that. This is pretty firm. But it's based on your weight. As you get heavier, the firmness will seem less. But this is supportive, and this is I talked about this already, but the quality of this is sufficient where this is not going to go flat or super soft quickly. I wouldn't be shocked if you're below 250 pounds. If, in fact, here, I'll say this, I wouldn't be shocked if you were exactly 250 pounds and sat on this 8 or 10 hours a day, that 5 years later it hasn't gone flat or significantly softened. And if you're less than that, if you're a small sidewalk sissy, or nobody knows that, or small woman, 150 or below, uh, I wouldn't be shocked if 10 years later this cushion is still good. That said, if the chair went at 8 or 10 years, for all I know, there may be a new bang for the buck champion chair. It could still be this, but that many years later, maybe there's an upgrade. If that's the case, you ask me 10 years from now, hey, fast car, is the Kolami Atlas still the best sub $300 chair? That's assuming we're still here. And when I gotta watch what I say so I don't get shot or put in jail legally. When I'm making air quotes with my fingers, when the Comet Atlas, wink wink, end quote, uh, comes back in about a year, if we don't hypothetically have a landing and get invaded, if an earthquake doesn't hit, look, we're almost at war with Russia, China, and the rest of the world. We could be blown up, bombed, depleted, at war. Who knows? Let's say we make it for whatever's going on. There could be a better chair, but by all means ask me, hey, do you still like the Calamity Atlas? Who knows? Maybe they'll come up with a V2, right? I don't know. But as of right now, it is late February in 2026. This is, I'm going to say it, below 500. Even though you can get this for 260. Will it go on sale? I don't know. I don't know if it'll be any Black Friday, Prime Days, anything like that. Possibly, but it could also go up, right? Who knows? Would I wait? I don't know when the next Prime Day or whatever is, and it may not even go on sale for that. Would I wait if I could afford it 3, 6, 9 months, or until Christmas to save another 12, 15 crummy dollars? No. If you can afford it, get it right away. All right, people, we're very close to an hour, if not over it. I'll do one more if I find one within 30 seconds that's interesting. Yes, it's adjustable. We talked about this. Backrest. I talked about it. It's very cool. Yes, it goes up and down. Is it? I'm not going to count this as a question. Is it cozy enough to lean back and watch Netflix on my computer? Absolutely. If you're within the size range that I said. If you're between 5'4" and 6'2", definitely. If you're below 300 pounds or 300 or less. Some people over 6'2", it still works for. Some may prefer a big and tall chair. You'd have to test fit it if you're over 6'2", I would say. All right, this is going to be the last one. Are you legit a midget? Oh, Bligit? Are you legit a Bligit? Or is this like a troll and you're trying to be funny? I'm going to give him or her a second to answer. Oh, we got numbers. Number one, a Bligit is a black midget. Bl- bl- I don't ask for much, Discord. Those of you that have gotten this far in the video. Because no one knows this, I want you, feel free in the comment area. Feel free to meet. I'm not laughing, Fast Cat, or giggling. Feel free to send me an in-game mail using Bligit in a sentence. And yes, you can substitute the N word and say Bligit, like, psh, Bligit, please. You may say my name or not in all capitals in team chat, map chat, or if you catch me in AB waiting in a queue, you may do hashtag all caps Bligit. I'm not laughing, Fast Cat, so don't show me giggle. I, assuming this isn't a troll, I'm being serious, so I'm not teasing you or anything. Assuming you really, hold on. Assuming you really are legit, and a very nice one at that. All right, I'm collected now. I was not very professional. That's my bad. Assuming you're a legit Bligit, which makes you between, I don't know, high 2 foots. When does midgetness or dwarfness stop? Four. I'm getting different numbers here. Regardless, the seat, unless you're a very heavy Bligit, your seat's going to be very firm. Like I'm picturing Mini Me. None of you motherfuckers know who Mini Me is because you don't watch movies and you're millennials. If you know who Mini Me is, or he's really small, slightly bigger midgets and dwarfs. How about, this is why I live for this. Quickly, how about that N word? I'll just say it. How about that nigga from Game of Thrones, T-Ball or whatever his name is? First of all, I think his name was Tyrion. Tyrion. I'm not going to dignify this. To the Bligit out there, I've forgotten your name already. The seat would be very firm, and this chair would be quite big for you. Now, I am aware, as a very large person, that there are stores, both physical and online, called Big and Tall. For mostly people over 6'2", usually it's 6'5" and plus, and quite girthy, fat. or muscly. It could be bodybuilder types, power lifters. There are big and tall stores to buy some products, chairs, but definitely clothing, shoes. It's not easy to get an 18 triple E like for me, and I don't know what Shaq wears, or it's other, even larger than me. I've never seen or heard of, I really want to end on this thought. I've never seen or heard of a. Hold on, let me collect myself. I'm not giggling. Fast cat. I've never seen or heard of, and again, I've never looked for one, like a short and dumpy store. Oh, God, it's terrible. I did not just say that. Short. There's a guy none of you know named Fish Car, and if he saw this video, he's going to be quoting lines to me all the time. So if you. I don't know if there's a short and dumpy store or stores for. Or stores for like midgets and. My bad. Blidgets and various dwarfs. Let's say, I'm going to say little people in general, those below 5 foot. I don't know when the actual cut is, but that's pretty small. Although I've seen some hot 4'10", 4'11" women, like smoking. And I could tell you some stories. There's even some videos, but this is another story. Oh, and it's a barn burner. So they're rare, but evidently they're not called short and dumpy stores, but yes, this would be a big chair, even at its lowest, depending just how small of a person you are. Getting up on it, I'm giant, but even 5'4" sidewalk sissies, I just want to say something, keeping it real. I've talked this long. What's another minute? If you're a guy below 5'9", a man, you're barely a guy. And if you're below like 5'6" to 5'9", this is definitely sidewalk sissy territory. You're standing on the edge of the cliff. Let's be honest, the other sex really don't like, Alright, this is not what this video is about. But if you're a man below 5'6", you're probably a hairdresser. Oh, did he just say that? Yeah, 'cause Trump is in office, bitches. I could say retard, too. Don't get me started. It might be difficult to get up on this chair. I don't think I've ever had mine all the way down and tried to sit in it. But if you're in the 3 foots or 4 foot, you may have to do a little hop or use a little step or something. You've lived with this. I'm just going to call you Blidget. So you would know better than me what it's like to get up on chairs for you personally. You don't want to say your weight for your height, but you're fit. Look, if you're 60, I don't know what Blidget's weigh, but if you're 60 pounds, 75, this chair might last, unless you do something done, your entire lifetime at that weight. I just don't think this particular chair, now there's cheap chairs, is a different story, but this particular chair might very well last you 20 or 25 years unless you do something stupid. When, there's an old saying from a very wise man that says, Blidgets don't do much damage. And that was Fast Car. Please, in-game people, Tell your friends, tell your guild, give me a hashtag Blidget in capitals. You could double space if you want, if you're a real gangster. This video is so long, I'm getting slappy. And I'm hungry. My belly's gurgling like crazy. Breakfast is going to be chili. And maybe as a treat, because there's a little bit left, salted caramel cheesecake for breakfast. I had it yesterday and it was delicious. All right, I said one more. I don't know if that counted. I'm not. So many people are asking me steel rate. A lot by that manufacturer. All kinds of chairs. Listen, I've tried them. This is a very popular chair for a reason. Anyone that I'm going to end on this thought. Anyone that says negative, in my opinion, is most likely one of two scenarios. I'm going to say 2.5. One, look, it doesn't matter if you make a great product. Once in a while, you get a lemon, whether it's a car, women, because men are angels. Sometimes something doesn't line up, something is broken, fucked up, not fastened right. I'm going to call this the half. So occasionally, with anything, you might buy eggs all the time and one day get home, open the box, and there's 5 broken. Shit happens. But we're not going to really count that. Any negative about this chair, in my opinion, is one of 2 reasons. One, somebody is a chair seller, whether they tell you or not, and they don't make as much money on this chair as another one. Scenario 2, said person has a $750 to $2,000 chair, like a Miller. There's a couple other ones, but it's mostly the Millers. And they're a chair snob. Partially because they spent all that money, which was crazy, right? If you spend near $2,000 on a chair, you don't want to hear that one for $300 is just as good. You're going to talk shit. You're going to hate on it, right? You're going to be a chair hater. So I think scenario 2 is someone that has a triple, quadruple, whatever, $2,000 chair or more, and they're just kind of looking down on you. And they can't just say, yes, for the money, that's an excellent chair. I think that's the only really 2 reasons for negativity. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. I did this on my own time. No money. I didn't get free chairs. That would be nice. Is there anything, I will answer that you would improve? Again, I am a large person. It would be different if I was more normal sized. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if I worked for Kalami and was an engineer or a product developer, and they gave me this chair and said, well, you guys know me as David. David, we're thinking of coming out with a V2, maybe. We want you to use this chair, let's say for a month or 3 months. And at the end of it, tell us if there's anything you would change for an upgrade for a V2. Yes, there's probably some tiny little picky things. But at some point, if you change so much, they would probably come out with another chair with another name. And what was your second half? I gotta scroll back. But it's minor stuff, in my opinion. All right, I'm ending on this only because this was a 2-parter. What did he say? Is everything by Kolemi? I don't know. Well, oh, there's a lot of chairs. I don't know their entire product line. I've used some other ones that I like on average, that I liked on average better than other companies. But I don't have enough experience with their everything they sell. I don't know. Oh, I thought they had way more. Like I expected to look at, you know, 180 chairs. Okay. I don't have enough experience and enough ass and seat time, as we call it in racing, to know if they're all great deals. Like here's one for this much. I've not tested this one. I'm not going to count any of these. Or I have heard of this model, and you're probably wondering why is it so. There's some interesting stuff about the design. Are you better off spending near 500 for this one? Is it worth, let's call it about double? I don't know. I don't think it's worth double. That would be my opinion. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed my 5-minute video. It's probably an hour and a half. Hashtag Blidget. Wonder if that guy was trolling. All right, shout out to the Blidget just because you're my new homeboy. The singer, would you call him a rapper? Kid Rock. I mean, is he? It's kind of rock and roll. It's kind of. Kid Rock either does or used to have a little midgety guy in the band. See, none of you listen to white people music. You don't know who Kid Rock is, but believe it or not, I'm sure there's a great story. He had in his band a little midgety person, a little person. I don't know if he had a handle or a name. No, but nobody knows. Look, just put a Google or AI search Kid Rock midget in the band. I don't know what his name was. All right, you're not going to get me to talk about this. I don't think that's his name. Little Stuff, Lil Lil Stuff. I don't think his name was Lil Stuff. Josie? Oh, someone corrected it. Josie? I have no idea. All right, I encourage you to look up Kid Rock's midget. Is he still alive? Did he? I don't know. Maybe he got shot and gang related. I don't know. I'm not laughing. So help me, Fast Cat. There better not be any giggle cats. Okay. That said, I don't know. This design is a little weird to me. Yeah, that looks like it's got leather or maybe fake leather. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't have enough info on these. This is about 100 more. Is it worth 100 more for this one? That's the big question. I'm going to talk to somebody I trust on the 3 chairs, the Atlas, this one, and this one. And if wow. Oh, sold out. Damn. 240 off. Does that mean 240 from this? Or this is after? If you get 240 off this, that becomes interesting. Even this one. Like when you put it in the cart, which I don't want to do here live. I mean, that's interesting. I'm going to look into this, and within a day, or maybe by the time you people see this vid, if I find out anything sold out, does that mean forever? Are they just done with it? Maybe they're making a V2. Maybe it's just temporary. As far as I know, I could be wrong. I think it's like, isn't there some kind of Chinesey holiday where they all get, is it New Year or I don't know, some kind of, is it some god that's blue with 8 arms and legs? You don't know with them. But they don't work for a while. They take off for 2 weeks or a month. We could be in that and it's sold out and there's just not a bunch of Chinese people making this stuff. You know what I mean? You just got to wait till they're on vacation or a holiday. That could be a possibility for this. Yeah, if this lists for this and you get 240 off, that's interesting. Like I said, I'm going to look into these and I'm going to, either way, I'm going to put a little comment that I'll write about these other chairs. I'm going to talk to somebody I trust. That's a chair freak, we'll just say. All right. I hope you enjoyed all. If you made it this far about a stupid chair, shout out to you. I don't know if she still does, but my favoriteest person in the whole world who I just saw in Guild Wars, Candy Guzzler, who's now a necro, yet she doesn't yoink. If you're laying in bed listening to this, Candy Guzzler, shout out to you, and have a nice sleepy sleep with your bear. She said she likes to listen to me at night. It's soothing. All right, I'm out. Legend.